So, today, we're gonna stay up past our bedtimes. Alexa, turn off the lamp. That's better. We're gonna talk about the kind of stuff you talk about at a sleepover. I'm in my pajamas. I bet you are too, given how much everyone's staying home. And I'm gonna tell you guys a story from my childhood. So, for reference, I usually script my videos at least a little bit with like an outline, bullet points, some order of what I'm going to talk about. I didn't do that this time. I just felt a vibe, and I felt like I wanted to talk to you guys about something that has happened to me, or a couple things that have happened to me when I was a kid. And some of the very nice people in my audience here have told me that I'm a good storyteller, and that I should talk more about myself and my life. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm listening to you guys. I'm always listening, and I appreciate your comments and recommendations. And I'm going to tell you guys some assorted stories about my experience being bullied or being a bully, actually. So I guess we'll start off with the first instance in my life, really, and also probably the most childish. My elementary school was pretty big, and for those of you outside the US, that's primary school, the school you go to first, but not as a baby. And I had a lot of friends in elementary school, actually, but a lot of the popular people and the people who were all friends with each other didn't like me that much. And I was really gross as a little kid. Picture this annoying, angry little boy who liked video games a little bit too much and didn't want to let anyone do things their way. I was kind of an ass as a little kid, and I'll fully admit that because I feel like I've changed now, but that's not in the scope of this video necessarily. So anyway, there were a lot of people who liked each other and knew each other, but who didn't like me because I was a gross little kid, right? And so my elementary school went up to 6th grade. So for reference, a 6th grader is usually like 11 years old. I started going to that school in kindergarten, which is when I was like 4, almost 5 years old. So we're there for a long time, and you see the same people for, 6 or 7 years in a row. So after I was in like 2nd grade or so, I started talking to more people, but more people also started talking about me. And the kids in a grade above me in elementary school would never really want to talk to me. And that makes sense. When you're a little kid, but you think you're growing up, you want to be as isolated and growing up as you can, and you want to talk to people a little bit older than you if you can, but you want to stick with your friends who are like growing up with you, So like, I get that. I was that way too. But because I was a gross little kid, I used to like scratch my butt a lot. I don't know. I just didn't think that was weird to do in public, I guess. It's gross, I know, but like, I used to be fine with that. So I would scratch my butt a lot, right? And people started noticing. And this is really gross. I also used to pick my nose. And so one time, this one kid named Aram, who was 2 years ahead of me, and I'll only say who he was because I'm not telling you which school or where, and I haven't even been able to find him online, even when I looked, so I don't think it's bad to say his name, but his name was Aram. And Aram was a bully. He was an asshole. My friends didn't like him. Nobody in my grade liked him. He was 2 years ahead of me. So when I was in 3rd grade, he was in 5th grade. And when I was in 2nd grade, I think, was the first time that I saw him, because he saw me on the playground, and he saw me scratch my butt and then pick my nose. And that is kind of gross, but it's not like I was putting my hand in my pants or whatever. Like, not... I know this is gross, I'm sorry. But, I just, like, scratch my butt and then pick my nose. Those are two separate, mildly gross things, especially in public. So, like, fair enough to notice, but, like, they're not related to each other, right? And he saw me, and he was like, "Did you just pick your butt?" And I'm like, "What?" Because I don't know what that means. What? Is that like eating poop? No. Of course I was not eating poop, Aram. But he's like, "Did you pick your butt and eat it?" And I was like, "No, I didn't do either of those things." And he's like, you picked your butt and ate it. If you don't tell me you did, I'm gonna tell the yard duty, which was like the counselor, the people watching over us, you know. And I was like, what? No, I didn't do that. And so he goes up to the yard duty and he grabs her. And it was the old lady, Miss Williams. I fucking hated her, right? I fucking hated her. She was the worst. Like, I would do shit that got me in trouble, but she was always the one who they told. And when they told anyone else, they didn't tell my parents. When they told Miss Williams, my parents got called. She was the worst. Aram goes and fucking gets Miss Williams. And he's like, hey, insert name here, just like picked their butt and ate it, and I saw, and it was gross. And she's like, what does that mean? And then Aram explains what he thinks picking your butt means, and she's like, that is gross. You saw that person doing that, meaning me, you know, take me to them. So he walks Miss Williams over to me, and I'm just standing there, because I didn't think I did anything wrong. I thought he was bluffing, right? I mean, I heard the conversation, but like, I thought he was gonna get shooed off, so I walked away. But then a couple minutes later, they come over to me, and Miss Williams is like, were you doing what Aram said you did? And I'm like, what did Aram say I did? And then Aram's like, you picked your butt and you ate it. And I'm like, no, I didn't do that. But I was like all flustered because I'm a little kid with like anxiety issues. And so I'm like, no, I didn't do that. What? And then they got me in trouble. They made me sit out the rest of my lunch without like getting to play because I apparently picked my butt and ate it. So that was the first time I got like directly bullied, and it only gets worse from there, right? So then I know Aram, and Aram sucks, and he hates me, and all of his friends hate me because I'm some little kid who's dumb, and I like, can people stop being loud outside? I have the window open so you guys get the ambience of the cricket noises, and because it's hot in here, but like, people need to stop being loud. Okay, anyway, so Aram and his friends don't like me, but mostly Aram, right? And I know him, and I don't like him, and I know he's gonna try to get at me, so I try to stay away from him. Well, one day, he decides, like next year, right? So I'm in 3rd grade, and he's in 5th grade. And he decides that he's gonna he's gonna go up to the other 3rd graders and ask them if they know me, and if they know me, he's gonna ask them if they like me. And if they say anything other than yes, he's gonna tell them that I have like germs, like cooties, but worse. I'm not saying what he said because it uses my dead name, and I'm not gonna do that. But if my name was Olive back then he would be telling people, oh, they have olive germs. Like, don't touch them, they have olive germs. And he got everyone in the fucking school who was 3rd grade to 6th grade to know about olive germs. And so everyone but my friends would like not touch me, and we would play tag like as a school like organized activity. Like the teacher would have us play tag, and nobody would ever tag me because I had germs, right? And so only my friends would ever tag me, but then if I was it, I would never be able to tag anyone else because they would just like for other people they would run, for me they would sprint. They were so scared of getting olive germs that they would just run the hell away. And it was like, it's funny now, but it made me feel so bad as a little kid, right? Because for literally from like 3rd grade all the way through 5th grade, people who were ahead of me in school were still telling me that I had germs. Until Aram left, and then like all of his friends from the year below him left, and I was in like 6th grade, like I didn't get rid of that shit. It was the worst. And my friends would tease me about it because they were all a bunch of guys, right? And they thought it was nice to like tease me or whatever. So they would fucking say like, oh, you know, don't touch me, I'm gonna get olive germs. And I'm like, bro, come on, you know that shit pisses me off. Except, you know, in little kid terms, I wasn't cursing. And then they'd be like, well, too bad, you know, you've got germs. And then they would all run away from me. And I felt so awful. That shit fucked me up. That made me feel so bad as a little kid. So after that, right, I was a bitter little shit. I was already a bitter little shit, to be fair. But after that, after germs was over, I was an even bitterer little shit. So catch me going into junior high, which for those of you in other parts of the US, middle school, except it's only 7th and 8th grade. For those of you elsewhere, I've been using grade numbers. It's 7th and 8th grade is junior high. It's really weird. It's like before high school. I don't get it. Whatever. Anyway, so I went to junior high, right? I'm like 12, I think. Yeah, I'm like 12 in 7th grade. And I'm a really angry little bitch, right? And I'm throwing shit, not at people. Like, I didn't hurt people, right? I never singled anyone out. and I never hurt anybody. I never like did anyone any direct harm, but I was just like a real asshole. And I had some friends that I already knew from elementary school who were getting tired of my shit, right? And so one day, y'all hear that? The neighbors turned on their AC, and I'm eye level with it on the third floor of this building. Bitches. They're all bitches. So all my friends knew each other. We were all friends. And they were getting tired of my shit, right? And I had one friend, who I won't name, but I had one, like, best friend who was separate from all my other friends for the most part. Like, they knew each other, but this one friend, who I guess I'll call them, like, Mark. Totally the wrong name, but that's fine. So Mark and I were best fucking friends from like 7th grade. Like, we met in 4th grade at summer camp, right? And then we met each other again in 7th grade because we went to the same school in junior high, and we were friends till fucking death, we thought. And like the end of that was a few years ago, and it's a whole different thing. But like in junior high, we were like this. We were like the closest. I didn't know I was gay yet, but if I had known, we would have been dating. Like, it was that serious. And so I had like a best friend in Mark. And my other friends who weren't Mark and who were all friends with each other decided that they were done with me being an angry shit. Okay, so one day we had a science project together that was rolling marbles down a little marble track, and we built our marble track, and it broke right as the judge came by to tell us whether we did it right or not. And so she gave us a 0, and it wasn't like, it was like extra credit if you won. Like, it wasn't an assignment, but she gave us like a 0 score because our marble didn't go anywhere. It fell off the track. And I got so mad that instead of trying to fix it and having her come back, I just trampled through the whole thing, and I broke it, and everyone was looking at me and like gasping, and it was really awkward, and it was really bad. So then I just left, right? And all my friends were super pissed. So they decided they had enough. They talked to all of my other friends and said, hey, don't talk to Olivia for 2 weeks, okay? 2 weeks from today is when you can start talking to them again. But you cannot talk to them until then. We're just completely shutting them out so that they learn their lesson for being really angry and dumb all the time. And then they told me, my one friend, who I'll call Jake, again, a totally wrong name, but Jake had been my best friend for like since 3rd grade, right? And Jake told me that that he had gotten all of my other friends to do that. And they did. All of my other friends, the girl that I was like dating at the time, everybody shut me out except Mark. Mark came to me and said, hey, Jake told me that all of your other friends, and they gave names, were ignoring you right now, but I don't want to ignore you because I feel like you might need a friend right now. And I was like, you know what? I appreciate that, but ignore me. And so they didn't. They kept talking to me, but they waited a few days. And so after a few days, I was talking to Mark, and I just, like, every lunch period, we would meet up in the same place where all of my friends never went on campus. And we would sit, and we would talk. Because, like, my junior high was a bunch of little buildings connected by, like, outdoor hallways and plazas. So it wasn't, like, a big building indoors. It's like a West Coast U.S. thing. And so we would go to this one area with, like, some hedges that no one else ever went. And we would talk for the whole hour for lunch. And then I would go back to class every day for the 2 weeks. And by the end of it, I had a much better handle on my anger issues. And that experience made me feel like I was a bully, because I kind of was. I was like almost bullying my friends, and I wanted them to be my friends, but I didn't know how to do that. And that experience of being shut out from all of my friends for 2 weeks really taught me some shit. And it's honestly one of the reasons I'm not just like an insufferable asshole today, right? So, that was just like an off-the-cuff collection of like 3 things from my life. But I guess the moral is you can be picked on as a little kid. You can be really shitty. You can have low self-esteem and be mean and be a little bit of a bully. And you can redeem yourself. Obviously there's some serious things you can do that are really messed up. Or things that people can do to you that are really messed up. And I've had that. We've all been there. But if you feel like part of your childhood experiences still defines you as a late teenager or later, there's definitely something you can do within yourself or with the help of others, or both, to get past that. Not get over it, because it'll always be there unless you don't want it to be and you can shut it out successfully. But, most of us, like the experiences are always there if you can remember them, right? But it's important to take your own mistakes and learn from them in a productive way that makes you a better person to the people that like you and already are predisposed to like you. You know, don't use the fact that people like you to your advantage to give you slack on being a bad person or being a bad friend or being an asshole, you know? Don't beat yourself up, but learn from your mistakes. That's the moral of today's video. If you guys like this format, you know, dim lighting, me talking to you, sleepover vibes, let me know. And I would be happy to do this more often because I've always got opportunities to film at night. If you guys like this video, let me know what you did or didn't like about it in the comments. Leave a like if you liked it. Make sure you subscribe. I would do that YouTuber thing of showing you my subscriber percentage, but seriously, like 0.3% of you guys are subscribed right now. So subscribe if you're not already and you like this kind of content. Feel free to watch my recent videos. I'll probably put an end card on this so you can see which one is recommended for you. And I will see you guys next time. Have a great day.